Thank you. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. I can't see you because of the sun, but that's okay. You can see me, right? Can you hear me? Yeah? You're okay in the back? So thank you for being here for our memorial tonight. We have a wonderful evening planned, short and sweet. And I want to give a big thank you for all of my Davis County co-workers that have made this evening possible, and they don't get a lot of thanks, but can everybody give them a round of applause? I really appreciate their help. My name's Andy Oblad. I'm a chief deputy here at the sheriff's office. I don't know if everybody grabbed a program, but I'm going to read through it just in case you didn't. Do we have any more over there? Are they all out, all the programs? But we're going to start tonight with the national anthem. It's going to be sung by Deputy Jeremy Farnsworth. Then I'm going to give the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we'll have a musical number from this wonderful choir back there in the shade. This is a Viewmont High School choir. That musical number is called Going Home. Then we'll have a speaker, Kelly Bennett, Chief of Police for Clearfield Police Department. We'll also have a tribute to the fallen by the family of the fallen. This is the Skinners up here in the front row. And we'll have a flag ceremony from the Honor Guard made up of Davis County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard with a few officers from different agencies that are helping us. Then we'll do a laying of the wreath from chiefs of police that are here, and then we'll have some bagpipes. Thank you very much for being here. We'll go through, I'll come back up for the Pledge of Allegiance, but Deputy Jeremy Farnsworth, where are you? All right. I'm going to ask everybody to stand for this, please.
Thank you, Chief. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Deputy Farnsworth. Please repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Here they come, Viewmont High School Choir.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I'd like to thank Chief Oblad for the opportunity to speak tonight for a few minutes, and as well as the Sheriff's Office and Chief Oblad's commitment to the memorial. And I've had the honor to participate in the memorial for the last couple of years, and it's always been an honor to attend and to pay tribute to the fallen officers in Davis County. And their memory is forever embedded in my heart. It's an honor and privilege again this year to attend and have a few minutes. And I first would like to recognize the family members who are here tonight and friends of the fallen officers, especially the family members of the Davis County law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. And may God bless each of you as you continue to memorialize your family members as well as support law enforcement. We appreciate that. No memorial or event will ever bring back the fallen, but hopefully you can feel of our support and our deep appreciation for their sacrifice as well as for your sacrifice. It's essential to recognize and memorialize the officers who give the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, and this is how we instill the importance of their sacrifice and service. For those who aren't familiar, each year on May 15th, the law enforcement communities and families gather to pay tribute to the brave fallen officers who have died in the line of duty, and we're indebted to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And this is the best way that we can formally show our appreciation and respect. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation and said, "Law enforcement officers have played an important role since the beginning of the nation." Then in 1994, President Bill Clinton passed a public law establishing that the American flag must be flown at half-staff for Peace Officer Memorial Day. Furthermore, every year, the President is required by law to issue a proclamation to designate May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day. And several government agencies also recognize the fallen by having ceremonies like this to pay tribute. To memorialize the fallen officers, the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial Foundation was formed to honor the fallen and to tell the story of American law enforcement. The National Memorial, that is located in Washington, D.C., contains the names of more than 24,000 officers who have died in the line of duty throughout U.S. history. The memorial is always changing when new names of fallen officers are added each spring as part of National Police Week. This year alone, 282 names will be added to the National Memorial. Recently, the International Association of Chiefs of Police, President Wade Carpenter, said, "Each name represents a family, an agency, a community affected by those of their own. While these numbers symbolize sacrifice, the police of this nation, we mourn together for all those lost in the line of duty across the globe." Bordering the memorial, for those who haven't been there or seen it, are two lined pathways of remembrance where the names of the fallen officers are engraved. Each of the pathway statues symbolize the protective role of law enforcement officers and convey the strength, courage, and valor that are hallmarks of those who protect and serve. These statues are of two lions that are watching over their cubs. As I thought about this, it's no coincidence that the bronze statues symbolize strength, courage, and valor, since those qualities must be characteristics of every law enforcement officer. Strength can refer to the physical stature of an officer, the endurance it takes to overpower a combative person, the strength to overcome the mental and emotional effects of being an officer, or the strength that each family member provides to a family member or friend who puts on the uniform or badge to maintain law and order. Officers are the strength that holds the thin blue line that separates chaos and order. Courage symbolizes the immediate response to an active shooter, a hostage situation, felonious acts, domestic violence, fatal traffic accidents, and other horrific events that leave lifetime impressions, both negative and positive. Courage to run towards the fight, the fire, the gunshots, or the screams. Courage to react with valor instead of allowing fear to interfere with judgment and response. Carl Sandburg once said, "Valor is a gift. Those who have it never know for sure whether they have it till the test comes. And those having it one test, never know for sure if they have it when the next test comes. I believe law enforcement officers have the gift of valor. The test comes and law enforcement officers face the challenges, and the valor remains for the next and the next challenge. Officers bravely face challenge every day they sign on duty, so it's no wonder to me that the memorial stands for strength, courage, and valor. Each day, law enforcement officers who put on the uniform or badge, they protect and serve. They leave their home not knowing if they will return at the end of their shift. They do not know if they will walk to the driver's side of a vehicle stopped for a traffic violation and face death. They do not know if a domestic violence call will end with an ambush, or the arrest warrant or search warrant will be greeted or interrupted with gunfire. They never know that the kiss goodbye to a spouse, children, partner, or parent will be the last one during this life. But officers continue to serve each and every day, even after facing danger. They return to duty ready to face the world again and ready to face the danger and their fears. Today we also recognize strength, courage, and valor of the law enforcement family members and friends who support each officer, especially those who are attending today. Being a family member of an officer is also a sacrifice. Last week, while attending the FBI National Command course, an instructor was speaking about leadership for a lifetime, and part of the presentation reflected upon emotional trauma related to this career. He shared with the class the importance of family and recognizing the vicarious trauma that affects family members. Not only are officers affected by post-traumatic stress, but family members also experience this vicarious trauma. That is why family members are recognized as part of the law enforcement family, and more wellness programs are reaching out to family members. We need your continued support. It is up to you to lift and support your loved one who courageously faces the ills of society. It is up to you to also strengthen and support law enforcement. We value your support and depend on you to be a witness to the good that surrounds police officers, the brave actions of police officers, and the sacrifice made by each police officer. Together we can validate the respect that is needed to continue to protect our neighborhoods and communities. Together we can emphasize the importance of respect, or respectfully disagreeing so that we do not add to the increasing danger of being a police officer. Together we can recognize the need to accept our mistakes and our differences and build trust in law enforcement instead of using personal faults and anger to diminish the importance of supporting law enforcement. Earlier this month, the Utah Law Enforcement Memorial held the annual memorial for the fallen officers in the state of Utah. 2 additional names were placed on the wall. Both officers died from a result of their duties several years ago, but thanks to the interest of others, researching history unveils previous officers who have sacrificed their life. Just last week, Santaquin Police Department Sergeant Hoosier was killed in the line of duty when a suspect intentionally struck him with a vehicle. We respect the ultimate sacrifice of Sergeant Hoosier, and we pay tribute to him and his family. Each year, we gather to recognize the Davis County law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. They too demonstrate valor, strength, and courage. They too are memorialized for their ultimate sacrifice and for the dedication to the community they served, their department, and to each one of us. Utah Highway Patrol Trooper George D. Reese, a 12-year veteran, died at age 41 on July 2nd, 1960, when his patrol vehicle was struck by a fleeing felon in a stolen car. Trooper Reese was survived by his wife Marley and son Michael. Trooper Reese was part of a roadblock set up in Farmington at the junction of Highway 89 and Highway 91 to intercept a stolen car fleeing from other officers. As radio transmissions reported the stolen vehicle approaching the roadblock, Trooper Reese got in his vehicle and drove towards it. The suspect rounded a curve at a high rate of speed and crashed head-on into Trooper Reese. He died as he was being extricated. The 2 suspects in the stolen vehicle were also killed in the accident. Lieutenant Thomas Sumner Retberg, a 25-year veteran of the Utah Highway Patrol and a pilot for 22 years, was killed on February 11, 2000, when the Utah Highway Patrol helicopter he was piloting crashed during a routine maintenance flight. The rotor blade seized up during the flight, causing the crash. and the helicopter landed on its side in a field. The mechanic on board was also killed. Trooper Retberg is survived by his wife, 3 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. North Salt Lake police officer Charles Benjamin Skinner died on November 8, 2008, when pursuing a stolen vehicle in Woods Cross. Officer Skinner's patrol vehicle struck a patch of wet pavement, spun around, and struck a business sign. The vehicle he was pursuing crashed a short distance away, and the suspect was taken into custody. Officer Skinner had served the North Salt Lake Police Department for 6 months. He is survived by his wife and twins. I intentionally did not place all of the Davis County law enforcement officers in order, and I do not minimize the other great sacrifices by the great men that I have mentioned. But Deputy Donald Perry Jensen's death has always been dear to the hearts of my wife's family. My father-in-law, Captain Jan Cunningham, worked with Deputy Jensen. Deputy Jensen was shot and killed on May 14, 1971, after stopping to help 2 men who were having car troubles at the intersection of Highway 91 and Tippett Lane in Farmington. The men were wanted for a robbery in Ogden. They opened fire on Deputy Jensen, shooting him with the .38 caliber and .22 caliber handguns. Both were later arrested in Wyoming and convicted of first-degree murder. My father-in-law often expressed his gratitude for Deputy Jensen, who volunteered to cover his shift that night so he could stay home and study for an upcoming examination at the Weber State College. Prior to my father-in-law's passing, he gave me permission to share some of his most precious life stories, and I believe it's worthy to share some of these feelings in memory of Deputy Jensen. He is quoted saying, "Perhaps one of the most important cases I ever handled was Deputy Donald Jensen's murder. This case will always pull at my heart. I was working in the crime lab part-time and the patrol division part-time. Donald and I shared a vehicle, and he volunteered to work for me so I could study. About 3 a.m. I received a call from Leo Monks, and he was crying. He told me I needed to respond to the scene where Deputy Jensen had been murdered. I left my upset wife and responded to the scene." His story goes on to describe the crime scene and the evidence that was processed, and as well as him responding to additional crime scenes near the Bountiful Bee. My father-in-law also went on to describe the overwhelming feelings he had because of Deputy Jensen's death and the large amount of evidence that he had collected. He shared, "I had almost 300 pieces of evidence. It was all collected in one sealed room at the office. I was overwhelmed. I went to the back parking lot of the sheriff's office, went between 2 parked cars, knelt down, and prayed to my God for help." My father-in-law personally relayed to his family that he knew Donald was with him during that investigation, and our family will always be indebted to Deputy Jensen and his ultimate sacrifice. Memorializing the fallen, and especially the fallen in Davis County, is a privilege and an honor. Their memories will never be forgotten. The wreath that will soon be placed represents serenity, peace, respect, honor, and gratitude. May God bless these brave men and their families. May God bless the lives of officers and their families. As we strengthen our respect for law enforcement, may we always remember the sacrifice, courage, strength, and valor. And may we recognize the efforts that they do to protect our freedoms and our rights. And may the journey of law enforcement have the presence of God as well as you. Although today we memorialize the sacrifice of the Davis County officers that occurred years ago, I believe that each of them was greeted by the words in Robert Longley's A Hero's Welcome Home. "Time to come home, dear brother, your tour of duty through. You've given as much as anyone could be expected to you. Just a few steps further, the smoke will start to clear. Others here will guide you. You have no need to fear. You have not failed your brothers. You clearly gave it all. And through your selfless actions, others will hear the call. So take your place of honor among those who have gone before, and know you will be remembered for now and evermore." Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Bennett. That was wonderful. Chief talked a little bit about valor and courage, and I think it does take valor and courage to be a family member, a wife or husband or son or daughter of a police officer. Now we're going to have a tribute to the fallen by Officer Skinner's daughter. Come on up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma Skinner, the daughter of Charlie. When my brother and I were 3 weeks old, Charlie died. How does one grieve? It's different for everyone. When I was younger, I used to search the internet to find everything I could about him, hoping to get to know him a bit more. I scoured the internet, hoping to make that dad figure a bit more than just my DNA. People have asked me why I grieve if I haven't even met him. I reply with, it's not the loss of him I grieve. It's a lifetime of memories I missed because of one person speeding. It's the fact that I'll never get to meet him. It's the collection of pictures and stories and how they'll forever stay stories. It's the fact that that father figure will never be completely filled. That there will never be that one person who takes you out for ice cream after getting a good grade in school. That there will always be an empty hole for a dad. I surprise a lot of people when they see me cry over him. They think that I'm that one girl that is completely fine and over with not having a dad. But behind that mask is a little girl wanting to hold her father's hand and walk her into her first year of school. The little girl who just wants him to hold her and teach her how to ride a bike. The little girl who just wants a hug for #1 fan. I am that little girl who just wants someone to call Dad. Thank you.
As I said before, Emma, thank you. You have courage and valor. We'll now have an honor guard by the Davis County Honor Guard flag ceremony. I'm getting it all backwards. Come on down. Can you guys hear me back there? And officers in the audience, please rise. Officers, attention.
Color guard, present colors.
Officers, present arms.
Present arms. cover. On guard. Right. Base. Forward. March.
Order arms. Officers at ease. You may be seated. If we can have the chiefs come up, we'll do the laying of the wreath. That was Robert Rowe on the bagpipes. Thank you. We appreciate everybody's attendance tonight. Special thanks to the Viewmont Choir for their song they sang, and for Emma for speaking, and for Chief Bennett for his words. That's all we have for you tonight. We do have refreshments over in the shade, so get some of those and hang around as long as you like. Thank you.